Recognize is probably going to be a niche video. We're all my Lupe Fiasco fans. I know this is probably going to be a very niche video, but, or maybe it's niche. Somebody told me I'm saying that word wrong. But anyway, my Lupe fans, I want to know what y'all think his best album is, right? Now, I'm going to give y'all a backstory. I've been a fan of Lupe since Food and Liquor dropped. You know, the Fahrenheit 115s and all that. I've gone back and listened to them. Like, they straight to me. I recognize it's like some very great rapping on there. You know, early versions of songs like I Got You are on there, but I'm not like very well versed in them. Food and Liquor, The Cool, Lasers, Enemy of the State, Friend of the People. I fall off post Tetsuo and Youth. I listened to like Drogas Light. Whatever album was like the transatlantic slave trade, or Drogas Wave, Drogas Light. And after that, I listened to Samurai like a couple times. So just keep that in mind. I don't have like a full Lupe Fiasco because a lot of the stuff that he does publicly made me kind of stop listening to him. Like, he's a hater, and I hate that about him. But just so you got full context, right? So if y'all come in here talking about, I don't know, this Skull album, I don't even know if it dropped or not, it's the best. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just here to give my thoughts, right? Huge Lupe Fiasco fan. I made a video about Saigon being the most anticipated album that I'd ever heard, but I'm lying. It was Lasers. Saigon's a very close second, but it was Lasers. From the time I first heard The Cool, and he said, check it out on my third album, LUPN, until the day Lasers drop, and Lupe broke my heart forever. No fault of his own, but yeah, it was Lasers. Like, I want to get the Lasers tattoo on me. Like, that was a time in my life. The anticipation of the album Lasers is crazy, right? Because we get Shining Down, we get What You Want, we get I'm Beaming. When I tell you, that is one of them songs that when I heard, that's probably my favorite Pharrell/Neptune's beat outside of like I'm Good by Clips. I'm Beaming was one of those. When that was like the first time I heard a song for the first time and played it back 50 times. I cried. I'm like, this is the most perfect song I've ever heard no, not as far as hip hop is the most. I'm Beaming was the most perfect song I ever heard. We are lasers. We are not losers. Like, I'm like, oh, he talking to me right here, bro. Like, and I don't know what happened with the album. So safe to say, I don't think it's Lasers, right? So let's narrow it down. So Food and Liquor is like where I really dive into Lupe Fiasco, right? Phenomenal album. That man did things that you just shouldn't be able to do on your first album. You know, you get, Jay-Z since then is like giving a lot of people great verses on his first album, but like there was a period following Lupe where a lot of Jay-Z features, I'm like, like Jeezy got a crazy one, but Drake didn't. You know what I mean? J. Cole didn't really get that, but Lupe got one of them ones. He got one of them Jay-Z verses, right? And he's working with his mans, his soundtrack and not Prolific, but whoever he was working with on this album, right? Freaking phenomenal album. Hurt Me Soul, I talk about like that being one of them songs that changed my life. American Terrorist being another one. I remember like my AIM screen name was like some lyric from that song. I really like that last verse. Don't get the black man fool, get the white man liquor. Like that shit, I love that. I Gotcha was one of them. Daydreaming, that was one of the songs I was like, okay, like of all the songs that blow up on this album, it's like I get it, but like I didn't really, you know what I mean? Jill Scott, is Jill Scott still. Lupe Fiasco still Lupe Fiasco, but that song I'm like, He Say, She Say, the soundtrack, yeah, great album. I'm not gonna say it's his best. Arguably, the album that most people I know that are fans of his would say is the classic, is the one, is Food and Liquor. I'm not here to argue with you. I just don't think it's it. Mainly because, and it's the same gripe that I have with The Cool, both albums feel like mixtapes to me. There's not, but like, it's certain songs like Go Baby, Fighters on The Cool, where I'm like, these don't sound like album songs. You know what I mean? Intruder Alert, it sounds like a mixtape. Hip Hop Saved My Life, hella mixtape vibes on that. It don't sound like I tried to make an album. A lot of songs on Food and Liquor feel the same way. He definitely had what sounds like a bigger recording budget on Food and Liquor, but as far as like just a listening experience, like that's why I can't say it's his best. The Cool is the album of his I probably listened to the most, right? I know that album like the back of my hand. When Superstar came out, I was so happy for my man. I'm like, oh, you got you one. Daydreaming was a hit, but Superstar was a hit. People that I knew didn't know who Lupe Fiasco was If You Are. But part of the reason songs like that blow up is because people love the hook. They don't really care for the verses, what he's talking about. So I know like the meaning of the song went over like 95% of people's head, myself included, until like, I really sat down and listened. Lupe will do that to you. I mean, like in a real way, Burdusky. But anyway, um, The Cool is one of those. And it's probably the album I go to the most. Probably, it's hard for it to say it's my favorite Lupe album just because it's so ingrained in me that it's like, it sounds extremely biased because of the time of my life that the album came out. Like, yeah, I'm going to say it's my favorite album. Does it have skips? I don't know. Depends. I wasn't a big fan of Put You On Game, Hello Goodbye, and there was one other song I wasn't crazy about when the album came out. When I got older and like got the full album with like Blackout and stuff and like really came to like, had a more total view of music, I started to appreciate it more. The only song that even today I'm still kind of like, is probably Put You On Game. Oh no, I'm sorry, The Die. The Die. My bad, my bad. And I love it, but Lil Weapon is one of them joints. You feel me? Um, Great album. I don't know if I would say this is best. It's obviously not Lasers. We ain't even got to get into why. Like they just completely botched that album. But even like, I just think I could get so frustrated with that when I think about the amazing songs. I went and seen them live around this time. I've only seen them live once. Lasers was out, so I was there to see. I love I Don't Want to Care right now. Great song. Till I Get There. There's like a couple joints. I really haven't gone back to the album since it came out though, because it's just I don't like it. Words I Never Said, obviously, I was pretty big on, even though like it just didn't make sense. It's like y'all just throwing. I was mad that like okay, you turned down Airplanes and Nothing on You, but then did Words I Never Said. Like, it don't make sense, Lupe. But anyway, uh, but when I went to see him live, it reminded me how they dropped the ball because he didn't perform Shining Down, but I heard him rehearsing and I heard the guitar, I heard it. And he kind of did a medley of songs, Paris, Tokyo, but he didn't really perform them. It just felt like, I'm like, damn, I finally got to see who at the time was my favorite rapper. And it's this shitty album. I missed the Glow in the Dark tour. I missed it. I was too afraid to ask my mom for tickets to go to the concert because I knew she didn't want to go and I didn't know if she'd be comfortable with me going alone. So I never asked. And we were in a weird financial spot. So I never asked. And it was Kanye, Pharrell, and Lupe Fiasco on the Glow in the Dark tour. I have a lot of regrets in life. That's top three. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care how superficial, materialistic it is. Not going to see the Glow in the Dark tour is one of my biggest regrets. Right under that is missing Kendrick Lamar when he was touring with Kendrick and ASAP because I wanted to get high. Whole nother story, but Section 80 was out. He came to my city. I wanted to see Kendrick. I already seen him a couple times by then, but I really wanted to see, like, okay, Section 80 was out. He's popping. The world is waiting for Good Kid, Mad City. And I was late to the concert. I had been to so many concerts by this point. I thought it was going to start late. It started right on time. I missed Kendrick. So mad about that to this day, but definitely way madder that I didn't go to the Glow in the Dark tour. But when I did see Lupe, it was just like, show goes on, all this stuff. Like, I'm not rocking with it. It's not Lasers. I think it's most underrated as far as the albums that I've heard from him. Food and Liquor 2, I know it don't get a lot of love. There's definitely a lot of filler albums. And I've always personally felt, because it seems like the albums were recorded at the same time, there's a classic album if you take the best of Lasers and the best of Food and Liquor 2 and put it together. I think songs probably like Bitch Bad, Lamborghini Angels were recorded later in the process. But a lot of those songs you can tell like were recorded at the same time he did Laser. So his best album is somewhere sandwiched between those two albums if you can combine. But it's not fair to do because it's like I don't know how many of the songs were recorded around the same time. But like, yeah, that era to me is crazy. Because Food and Liquor 2, I would never say is better than Food and Liquor 1 out loud. And I'm gonna just leave it there. I really mess with that album. Audubon Ballroom, Cold War, Roses. Like I could see what he was trying to do and what he failed to me with Lasers with all the EDM. He found it on Food and Liquor 2. I love that album. Even Battle Scars, bro. Like, come on. Heart Donor is like really the only song I'm kind of like, and it's just it just didn't. But the outro is great. You know, love Pooh Bear, and I'm glad he changed his name because that MDMA stuff was weird. But Food and Liquor 2 is highly underrated, but I don't think it's that either. So obviously that leaves Tetsuo Youth. Mural, we don't need to talk about that song too much, but what he did on that song, like, is Black Thought might be the only person I've seen do it in a way that I'm like, okay, yeah. But Mural is one of them songs. One of probably the hardest intro to an album ever. This album is perfect. No skips. It's condensed. I love the concept. I love all the features. It's very well produced. I still don't know what the hell the title means, but it don't even matter. It's his best album. The Cool is probably my favorite, but Tetsuo Youth is his best album. I'm not here to argue. You know, y'all can have Drogas Wave, all that other stuff. I'm gonna take Tetsuo Youth as his best album. And then the concept of like, oh, if you play it in reverse and all that stuff, I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but I get it. I love it. Dots and lines. First time I heard that, I'm like, yo, what is this man on, bro? Like, again, writing songs that sound like one thing, have this flowery hook, but then underneath means something like way deeper, way more sinister. It's like, oh my God. And I named my song on my album #1 Fan because of the song he got with Sebastian, whatever his name is. The from a phone to a fire dam. What is the name of that song? I might be #1 Fan. Cause I think you're yeah, that song right there. Yeah, I was like, yo, the production on here is crazy. They reminisce over New with Ab Soul, one of my favorite soul verses of all time. Backstroke on my pool of thought, but don't mind the sharks. Oh man. The song was Sarah Nikki Jean. What's the name of the song? How in a day can Prisoner 1 and 2. Oh my, yeah, as I go back through this album, it's like, how can you not like it was so perfectly put together. He got to reunite with producers he had fell out with. He got to get some new like DJ Dahi. You know what I mean? Deliver? When I first heard it, I'm like, huh? And then I got it. You know, like, oh, okay, like Ty Dolla $ign and Lupe, like then not for nothing. They got some pretty good collabs. Chopper, RP to Trouble. How did he think of that? And it worked for so many people on the song to be doing 16s, for it to be so messy. He's like, hey, you know, I'm doing this song, right? 8 bars. Everybody wrote 16s. Like, okay, cool. Like, that's an amazing song. Yeah, I have no. The only way I could just tell y'all this is his best album is just because it just is, bro. The production is just what really makes it for me, right? It's like perfected. Everything we heard before, where it seems like he's kind of just trying things to try shit. On Tetsuo and Youth, it's just like, this is Lupe. You know what I mean? Like, this is Food and Liquor, for what it's worth, very Lupe Fiasco, but you're young and you're knowledgeable. You done read all these. You're trying to show people, I know what I'm talking about as much as possible, right? In that, sometimes you do too much. Then the Cool, I feel like, even though he dials it back a little bit more, it's like, okay, it's a more fleshed out concept album, right? but there's still a lot of things going on where I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, right? Throw lasers out, food and liquor too. Okay, I see like you're kind of trying to, all right, let's do some more like trap influence on some of these songs. Let's do a lot of, return to form, form follows function. I'm like, okay, you clearly like back in your like dumb it down, um, American terrorists, all of that bag on that song. But Tetsuo Youth is where my man figured it out. And I put that album against any other rapper's best album, and I think it fares pretty well. But all my Lupe fans out there, man, y'all let me know what you think, what y'all think his best album is, bro. Um, yeah, Tetsuo is just, I remember that year, 2015, bro. Yeah, that was one of them years. I know people talk about 16 a lot, but 2015, we gonna make another video about that. But I'm gonna stop yapping, man. Lupe fans, I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to put me on to some of like his newer music, I would definitely appreciate it because I tapped out, admittedly. And I like to tap back in. It's just some of his antics. I'm like, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's my time, man. Y'all been real. I've been Dollar Water. Peace.